We all know that Hollywood is on this rampage where they are continuing to try to purge certain people from Hollywood, and now we got this new report coming from Rolling Stones magazine where they accidentally expose what Warner Brothers is trying to do with Henry Cavill and specifically his Superman that they have. And of course, they continue to give a lot of different roles and everything else to a bunch of really terrible people, but when it comes to people like Henry Cavill, they seem to be very eager to try to get rid of them. So let's get into this entire story here. Warner Brothers has been trying to leave Henry Cavill's Superman behind since 2017. In Rolling Stone's piece that seeks to lay waste to the narrative that the release of the Snyder Cut and restore the Snyderverse campaigns were organic, they said a quiet part out loud that Warner Brothers wants memory hold. That is the fact that they've been trying to replace Henry Cavill and do something else with the Man of Steel for years, wishing to move on from Zack Snyder's bleak vision of Superman and the DCEU. The disappointing theatrical cut of Justice League was the catalyst, and the studio has had the same desire where Ben Affleck and Batman were concerned. And I don't really think it has anything to do with the fact that the DCEU is more bleak than Marvel. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that DC was basically trying to do everything that Marvel was doing, but in the span of like 2 or 3 movies. So they were trying to build up to some sort of Avengers-esque type of team-up movie, and it just didn't work out the way that it did with Marvel because the DCEU was rushing the entire thing, and they were being very rash with how they were bringing that about. So I think that has more to do with it, but of course they took out a lot of their anger and their hatred towards what happened with the DCEU on Zack Snyder and his films, and now it looks like they're trying to also erase Henry Cavill and his Superman from what they are doing as well. Leaks from the test screenings of the Flash movie indicate that there's a possibility Superman shows up in a mid-credits stinger. Unfortunately, there's no confirming this until next summer, which is crazy that they're still releasing this movie with Ezra Miller. They'll get rid of really decent people like Henry Cavill, but they'll continue to work with people like Ezra Miller. That should tell you everything that you need to know about what kind of a company Warner Brothers is. At the same time, so basically just getting into all of this information. For some, this wasn't a revelation. Cavill never got a proper Man of Steel sequel and was relegated to a co-starring role in Batman v Superman and a special guest star role in Justice League. Since then, his only appearance in the cape was in the Snyder Cut via footage that spent years in the can, and Warner kept on stalling and bringing him back to the screen in anything original. Which is just a huge shame because I think that Henry Cavill is actually really good as Superman. I really like the Man of Steel movie, actually. It's my favorite Superman film, and I think that Henry Cavill does a really good job in that role. Obviously, all of this was terrible. Like, the whole Justice League theatrical cut was just absolutely just horrendous by every standard. I mean, everything with this was just terrible. Where they kept on trying to like CGI out Henry Cavill's mustache, and they were giving this weird look on his face and everything. It was just terrible. It was awful. But the version that we got with the Justice League from HBO was actually pretty good. And of course, as we all know, the big question is why? Why are they trying to do this to Henry Cavill? Henry Cavill seems like he is a decent person, and maybe that is all the reason that they need in Hollywood to try to delete him and everything else. But I also think that Henry Cavill is a little bit more of a normal human being, and that is something that doesn't really fly well in Hollywood either. And this is coming from Grace Randolph. Finally, keep in mind that no major studio has been willing to hire Cavill. So this would be a huge show of faith for David Zaslav. So if that is the case, then that means that Hollywood in general is treating Henry Cavill in this way, and it's pretty insane. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe. I'd appreciate that a lot, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.